And hello, another happy Monday out there to everyone listening in on this Monday before Christmas. It's the jolly holly time of the year, which I'm sure a lot of people are taking time off in the industry, and there's a lot of holidays in the industry, so I'm sure we have that look coming up, which is exciting. And again, everyone, my name is JP Warren. I'm the founder of Connection Crew, and also the host of the Energy Crew podcast. Make sure you check that out on the Digital Wildcatters platform. Be sure to go in, like, subscribe, and check out some of those. So this morning, I don't know if you caught the first interview that we had. We had Richard Welch, who's running for the District 38th, Congressional District 38th candidate. And we had about an hour-long conversation with him. And now we're on the second live stream event right now where we're talking about the Gumball 3000. What's the Gumball 3000? Well, that's why I'm glad you're here. And what does the oil field have to do with the Gumball 3000? Well, again, that's why we're glad you're here. And if anyone's tuning in, once you say hello, we'll probably leave this running. I think there's some sort of lag. So if y'all want to just chime in kind of where you're tuning in from this morning or this afternoon, because we have people on the line from all the way across the pond in the old world, as we say, over in London. So we're going to bring up right now, let me just kind of confirm this over my LinkedIn page to make sure that we are live. And I believe we are. Oh yeah, we're blowing and going. Okay. All right. So we got so I guess we're gonna bring in Ken Lavin right now of Outdoor Ventures, and as well as Mertz. Wait, add a stream. I don't know why I feel like I just muted you. And we also have Lee Baillie, who's tuning in right now from all the way over in London right now. Good evening to you, Lee, and good morning to you, Ken. How are you all doing today?
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, and so pretty much, I know that it's kind of later in the evening right now, and if anyone wants to chime in with any questions, we're kind of leave the comment box up and going right now. But we're gonna have Lee on for a little bit and kind of have him discuss a little bit more about the Gumball 3000, what it actually is for those that aren't familiar. I know it's one of those rallies that I think a lot of luxury car lovers and these it's pretty much an insane thing. I've seen clips of it. I really haven't been involved in it, but it's exciting to talk about, and it's so legit. I guess the energy and the crews they bring with them, and just the race sounds just phenomenal. I don't think you can call it a race, but I think you have to call it a rally because I think you're getting from point to point. But we got and you know this guy. You got Matthew Hill. I think you might know him a little bit. He's finally excited to see you too. The Great Gumball 3000 will be the best event, not the 2000. The 3000. The 2000. That's before Y2K. We don't even talk about that anymore. So thanks for tuning in, everyone out there. And Lisa, why don't you kind of get us kicked off a little bit? And Ken, we're gonna get you out of the screen. No offense, I love your face, but we need to see Lee a little bit bigger. So Ken, we're gonna move you to the side, but Lee, why don't you kind of get us kicked off and kind of talk to us kind of about your involvement in the Gumball 3000, actually kind of what it is. Give us that 30,000 foot view.
Yes, I mean, Gumball 2000 in its incarnation, what it is today, is not quite what it was when it first started back in 1999. So the founder, Maximilian Cooper, he was very involved in the kind of it crowd of London, and he had a lot of interesting friends from many backgrounds, from design and art and fashion. And he just basically, as simple as, got a load of friends together and set off on a journey from London. They drove all the way through France and around France and back up to London. Everyone had an amazing time, and it's very gradually snowballed from there and turned into what it is today, which is, I mean, there's many facets to what Gumball is about. From the outside looking in, everyone just sees us as this kind of crazy, wacky, luxury, high-end, very expensive event, and granted, we are some of those things, but there is a lot more to what we do today. From fashion as well, we have our own apparel line, and we've done collaborations with many brands around the world. To the charitable work that we do, a lot of people actually do confuse us for a charity rally, but we have our own foundation, and we raise quite a lot of money every year through the rally that we host, and we support a lot of very well-known charities around the world.
So pretty much you have a global, it sounds, so first off, for those that aren't listening, and forgive me for butchering this, Lee, I apologize about that. But from my understanding, and also from what I've seen, the Gumball 3000, as Matt Hill calls it, the Gumball 2000, is pretty much, it's a group of individuals in these cars. They're all decked out, and you travel, and it's pretty much this cross-continent rally, which starts in, for example, I'm just going to throw this out there. It goes from London, then down to Paris, then Nice, and moves over here, then goes to Rome, then and it ends up in like Monaco or something like that. So it's pretty much this rally that crosses countries, the borders of different countries, and this. I don't know how long it is, week long or 2 weeks, whatever, however long it is, but you're stopping in all these, hot, cities, and you're kind of pretty much going from point A to point B with all these different little stops across and right now it's going to be, we'll get into this, but it's pretty much passing through all these cities in this grand, limelight focused rally. Is that correct?
Yes, so every rally we've ever hosted from its inception till today is 1 week, and we do one a year. And yes, you're quite right. It will cross an entire continent, or in some cases, will cross multiple continents, depending on the year and the route and where we're going and what we're doing. So we do, I'd say every third or fourth rally is normally entirely European based. So we'll start from somewhere like London and we'll end somewhere down in the southeast of Europe, in Greece, for example, having passed through France and Italy and all these other European countries. Other years we'll get some planes involved and we'll fly around the world. There's been times where we've flown from San Francisco to China, or we've done London to Tokyo, and all within the space of a week. So yeah, it can be quite a logistical nightmare from someone like myself and our point of view, who is an organizer of the event.
So I was going to ask you your involvement in the Gumball 3000. So you're an organizer of the event. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we have about 15 to 20 full-time staff at any one time that work year round, and any one rally can take around 18 months to plan. My job specifically is to identify new people to join our existing alumni. So every year we have somewhere between 100 and 120 cars that participate, and there'll be 2 people in each car.
Okay.
And half of that will be made up of existing, or what we refer to as our alumni, people who have done the rally before.
Right.
But we also like to supplement that with people who have never done it every year, 50% of them. So my job is to travel the world, meet interesting people, and find and identify people who we believe and feel would be a good fit for what it is that we do. That's essentially my job.
It sounds absolutely miserable to travel the world, meet interesting people.
It's a hard graft.
You know what it is funny? Like, I mean, people always, joke about like, oh, it must be nice, but I'm sure there's a lot of grind to that too. So I'm sure it's a lot of work. But so how about this? Bringing it back to Ola Field and Ken, how do you identify, I guess, the new applicants or entrants into the Gumball 3000?
Yeah, so there's a multitude of ways. Applications is one way. So we do have an application form which people can go onto our website and fill out, and that will come through to myself, and me and the team will review every application. It does take a long time because depending on the time of year, we can get hundreds or we can get thousands. And we look at the overview of what the information is, and essentially we're looking for people who are going to bring something different to the table in terms of their personality and what they do. But also, one of the biggest things for us is making sure that people are wanting to participate for the right reasons. Because you ask anyone in the world who happens to know what Gumball is, they're going to have a different perception of what we are, what we do. What we do essentially does cost a lot of money to put on and to participate in, and we don't want to ever have somebody join our event and have the wrong misconception of what it is that we do and not have a good time. So we look for people who enjoy traveling generally, who have had some experience with some type of automotive travel, whether it's road trips with buddies, they've done other rallies, they do track days with their local manufacturer or dealership. Cars is essentially the kind of common denominator that brings everyone together. But as I said, there's a lot more to what we do, and we have people from all over the world. Every year we have about 40 nationalities that make up any one grid of people, and then we just spend time talking to them, finding out what it is they do personally, professionally, and just trying to build a picture as best we can from our side as to who they are and what they're going to bring to what we do, because more than anything we just want to have a great mix of
And so
people from all industries.
This is kind of a good segue to Ken right now, which we're about to bring in. So when you're reviewing all these applicants, when you're looking at all this stuff, obviously there you have X amount of spots to fill, right? What are you looking at? You said people join for the right reasons, and you're looking for people to contribute towards the Gumball 3000. What exactly are the right reasons? Are you looking for people getting involved in the Gumball 3000?
I'd say it's easier for us to look out for the wrong reasons than the right reasons. There's never any one specific right reason, but there are people who will be looking to join our event for their own personal reasons that we may not deem necessarily the right reasons. So if they just think that it's a really easy week and it's a jolly up and they can just film some interesting YouTube videos and walk away at the end of it, and that's it, then this isn't going to be the trip for them. What we do is it's really hard. You talking about there's a lot of positives to what I do as a job, but for the event itself, it's some people do think it's like a holiday camp, whereas it's more like a boot camp. It's really full on. You don't get a lot of sleep. There's a ton of traveling every single day because we travel such vast distances. But it's quite hard to explain for me. I like to think of myself as a people person. I can get a good read on someone's vibe and their energy and what their motivations may be just from spending time talking to them over email, text message, or on a phone call or a Zoom call, whatever it may be. We don't always get it right. There will always be one or two people who managed to come onto the event and it's not quite what they thought it was, or perhaps they weren't quite the type of person that we thought they were. But I wouldn't say that there's any kind of written down reasons as to why someone should or shouldn't.
It's kind of it's kind of pretty much. It's kind of the gut feeling, the energy you're picking up from someone, the communications, right?
Oh, well, 100%,
Which is why we're going to bring in this guy, Mr. Ken, right now, to find out what incarnation's going on with that decision right there. So, okay, why don't you, Ken and Lee, why don't you kind of give us an update on kind of I guess y'all's relationship, how y'all met, and I guess the communication's been going on, and kind of where we stand. And Lee, I know it's kind of it's close of business where you're at right now. Obviously, yes, it's just like the oil field. There's never close of business, but I know that I appreciate your time in this later in the afternoon or evening for you. So let's just kind of get a quick little conversation with you two going. Then Lee, you're free to bounce if you'd like and get back on my notes the last week before Christmas. So Ken and Lee, kind of tell me how y'all connected, and then Ken, we're gonna get into the personal side once Lee's out. But why don't you tell us about how y'all connected and kind of give us an update from that?
Sure.
Sorry, I was going to say, Ken, I'd be interested to hear the kind of the initial part before we spoke that led to us speaking, and then maybe we can take it from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, being in the industry for as long as I had, and like you've seen JP, I've always advocated for our industry, with with Fossil Fuel Fridays and all the different talk shows and everything that I've done for our industry, and but it was my YouTube channel that actually found me, that people had saw my background and my experience, and they were like, you're a little different, you're kind of out there, and you're really active, and you're always doing, some kind of motorsports or some kind of, something out there, out and amongst people. And, your personality is really, really neat. And then they found out what industry I had worked in, and saw that I was in the oil industry for all these years. And they're like, you don't come across as the normal oil and gas industry guy. You're this, it's just, it wasn't something that they had seen before. And so that's where Fossil Fuel Fridays got involved. I got asked to come and speak on there and work with Matt Hill. Thank you for coming on, by the way. And so that's where it got started. And so whenever I saw Gumball in 2015, I had been, back then I was with sales and marketing, and was trying to find something new and different to really, get our industry out. But I didn't know how to get connected. I didn't, when I saw some of the names of the people on this rally, I I was like, there's no way they would pick a little guy like me in the oil field. I'm nobody. I'm nobody. And it wasn't. Do what?
You're somebody to us. Okay, don't say that. Go on.
Well, thank you. And so by 2019, 2020, we would really started to rock and roll with Fossil Fuel Fridays, Talking Energy Show, Oilfield Tailgate, several different things that were really just, kicking it along. And, it came back up that the Gumball 3000, I had signed up to get notifications. It's like, I want to sign up for this again. I have no clue if I'm going to get any kind of response at all. And so I filled out the application. I put in to try and get in for it. And out of nowhere, this guy from England, Lee, reaches out to me. And I was like, there's no way that I'm getting called by Lee from England. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna talk with him, and I'm gonna get this big no, and thanks but no thanks. And
we're used to that being in sales. We're used to that big old no.
right. So in talking with Lee, Lee, like he had mentioned earlier, there is a process. I mean, he put me through the ringer in a good way, and really was like, if you're on this event for the wrong reasons, that there's there's reasons why we interview, and there's why we look into these things and different other things. And it really, after talking with him and him talking with me about, I wanted to show that our industry really does a lot of awesome things, but we've never been on a stage that I know of personally, like this. And I would love to use this stage of Gumball to be able to talk about our industry. And in talking with Lee, said actually there's an opportunity that if you guys have charities of your own, that we're okay with, talking about them while you're on the event. And I thought, man, what just an amazing opportunity to talk about it, to explore it, and bring it up. And so after multiple interviews, I get the phone call, and it's like, so how would you like to be on Gumball 3000? I'm like, you got to be kidding me. There's no way. There's no way.
I got two questions for Lee. And Lee, I think we'll let you go if you got to run. But the first thing is this: after going through so many applicants, reviewing so much of this, talking to so many people and all that stuff, what about, I guess, Ken, and kind of what his platform stood out for you to be accepted into the Gumball 3000?
With Ken and with most other people, it is more about them as a person and their personality. Of course, we're interested in what they do personally and what they do professionally, but at the end of the day, it's the person that you have on the event. It's not their profile, or they're not bringing their business or their platform necessarily with them. You got to spend a week with all these guys and girls. So more than anything, it will always come down to who someone is as a person. And after having multiple conversations with Ken, like I said, you get a good feeling of someone's vibe, someone's energy, the direction they're trying to go with it. And he was making a lot of the right noises in that sense. And clearly he wants to do some great things, and we're lovers of that, because we ourselves like to try and do great things and bring more people like that together. The more great things you're going to achieve.
My last and final question for you, Lee, is talking about the Gumball 3000, all these amazing, beautiful rides, beautiful cars, beautiful planes, and all that stuff, right? We're talking about all this stuff. And have you ever seen something like this in the Gumball 3000, or this?
Personally, I have not seen one of these on the rally yet, but we've had some crazy things on the events over the years. So in 2017, we had a Mercedes Actros, which is a European version of like an 18-wheeler, if you will, like a really big rig, as it were, like a European rig.
Whoa!
He didn't have a trailer with him, but he just drove the rig the whole way through the rally.
Cool.
That was pretty cool. He got stuck in some places, like physically got stuck. He was overtaking people and driving crazy guy. He was an interesting character. And I think in 2003 we had Chris Eubank, who's quite a famous British heavyweight champion boxer. He drove it in an American rig, lorry, what we would refer to it as. So we've had some big things, but I haven't seen anything like what you just shown there, which I know Ken is considering bringing on Gumball.
I love it. So Lee, unless you got anything else for us, I do appreciate your time. It was good meeting you. I wish you success on, I guess the planning, I guess the rest of the planning and the, I guess organizing the Gumball 3000.
Thank you. It never stops, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
It doesn't stop. Well, Merry Christmas from us. Happy holidays. Be safe, and thank you for your time today. And Ken, why don't you stay on? I want to talk to you a little bit more about this.
Sounds
Thanks
good.
for having
Thank
me,
you so
JP.
much, Lee.
All right,
Ken,
Lee,
great to
take
see you
care.
as always.
Thank you.
Take care, guys. All the best.
Bye.
Well. That makes two of us, Ken. So, dude. So let's talk about this. All right. Why don't you? Okay, before we kind of dive in these little beauties again, let's kind of get into kind of on obviously. Look, you're doing this because it's a passion project, right? You're doing this because not only because you dig the cars and the outdoors and all that stuff, but there's something else about this that I think kind of is drawing you that you and I have talked about kind of offline. Something about this is kind of drawing you to kind of get involved in this more and wanting the oil and gas industry to kind of support this a little bit more. Can you speak to that a little bit more? You kind of touched on it a little bit, but let's talk about that more direct.
Yeah. So again, I know Lee didn't get to drop any names, so to speak, but I had never seen a platform like this ever before for our industry. I know we had talked about, like for instance, um, football games, things like that. Like we don't see our industry, we're not seeing our industry on the football field anymore. We're not seeing our industry in the big music awards or what have you. We're not seeing this other side, so to speak, that our industry is getting involved with. And so yes, the passion is there for the cars and the event and what it can bring to the table, but the names of the individuals that were there, I don't know if I guess I can drop a name. For instance, David Hasselhoff has been a huge advocate for this, and if you look up different things on this, David Hasselhoff is one of the, as he mentioned, one of the predecessors of the event, and I believe Usher has been on this. People that I had never expected to even have my name to even be on the list to be able to be in an event like this and to represent for our industry. It would just be massive.
So what does that look like? What does that look like for the industry? I guess to have the industry represented at the Gumball 3000. What does that look like for you?
For me, as you mentioned, you saw the cars up there. That was part of the interview process. They want to know what kind of vehicles, if the industry was involved, what kind of vehicles do you think the industry would want to be involved with?
And this is one of them. Let's go through it now. This is one of them.
Yep, that is a 2009 with a 2019 front clip F750 crew cab.
Okay, so that's in the mix. That's kind of in the running mix, right?
That's in the running mix. It is, okay. Yes. That's in Tucson, Arizona to go and pick up potentially. That one is in Pennsylvania. Talked with that gentleman as well. Custom handmade, ex-military, retired military man has built that one. That is a 2000, I believe that's 2007 F650 6-door.
All right.
Also with a wonderful, I believe that has a Cummins diesel in it with an Allison transmission. And then we have the 2009 Chevrolet Kodiak crew cab. That is only one of 6 in the world. They built those for the U.S. Navy. And that one's actually in Kansas and only has I think it has 25,000 miles on it.
So honestly, all these are badass. Like I'm digging all of these. All right. I'm kind of curious. I'm like, hey, look, if people are out there listening, whether you're listening now or whether listening later, and Ken, if you want to, I would do a poll on this. Which one would you choose to represent the oil and gas industry? That's a tough one.
Yeah, and I didn't send you the Can-Am, the little side by side that I would sit on the back of it. that we would use for each one of the stops to be able to unload. Because once you stop at all these different stops each night, you they have your cars parked and you're signing autographs for all the kids and all the people that come by, talking about what you do, your industry, your everything. And that was a big thing that Lee had talked about during our interview process. He's like, if someone is asking you to sign autographs or to talk about what you do, how long would you be there to do that? And I said, I guess I'd be there all night. I was like, I'll sign every piece of paper or anything that comes my way. And they said that, most people won't do that. A lot of people don't want to take that time. And he said, that was a big answer for us, to hear that you're willing to take the time to show, what the rally is, what it means. And they actually have a spirit of the rally award. So from flag up to flag down, you could actually win the Spirit of Gumball rally.
Well, we got one vote. Old Keith says the 6 door, but needs a lift. All representation of the whole industry needs a lift. Ain't that the truth, Keith?
I know it's only got like 42s on it, but I think we could go 46s, 50, 52s. What are you thinking?
Ask Keith on that. I mean, so okay. So you want to do this? You want to get involved in this? You think it's a good showcase? So how could first off, let's talk about the benefits towards the industry on such a global race, global involvement. I mean, you got people everyone from the Hoffman, David Hasselhoff, to Usher to Ken. So I guess where do you see this bringing the oil field to the the global light, and also you know what I mean? You and I get it. I understand the whole fact of kind of getting out there and doing something new outside the box. Obviously, there's a lot of cameras, there's a lot of attention towards the Gumball 3000 for those that are in the circles and all that stuff, which I think was great for the oil and gas industry. So where do you see, the oil and gas industry, helping bring this to fruition?
A great question. That's something that we didn't really talk about with Lee, that even though that we're on the list, you still have to pay the entry fee to get into this thing, and it is not cheap. And it's something that it would take a team. It would take a family for sure. And that's something that, we set up a GoFundMe account to help with all of this. We do have
where can they find that GoFundMe account?
I actually sent that to you in that letter. You'll have to pull that letter up there.
Go. All right, keep talking. I'm gonna try to find it real quick.
Okay, that'll be at the very bottom of the page, that Word document I sent you. But yeah, so I want at the end of this, when it's all said and done, there's two things that go on. One, the GoFundMe is to be able to raise funds for purchases of the truck and for the purchase of for the entry fee. That holds our place to be able to be in this event. The second part of that is, once all that's done and we've gotten everything good to go and we're ready to go, once the rally starts, I can use that same GoFundMe account to be able to be anything from that point forward would be anything that we would raise for funding for our, for the Oilfield Helping Hands, or for OERB, or the local schools and communities, or any of the other oil field charities that we help out with. This would be another great way to raise funds for those, because of how much notoriety this event brings to everyone that's involved with it. So
what's been some of the feedback, so first off, how long have you been trying to, gather support for this?
You're actually the industry first right here. You're the very first person to bring it up right now. This is between.
Oh, really? Okay. I dig that.
Yeah.
Okay. You heard it here first.
Yeah, that's right. You're hearing it first right here. We've talked about it individually with people throughout the industry a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
A lot of people are very, very interested and just wanting to learn more about it. So this was the perfect avenue that we got Lee to come on from England. That was huge. I couldn't believe he was going to talk about Max and was even going to bring Maximilian, the CEO owner. That was crazy. I was hoping he would come on, but that's
And
okay.
he's got something going on. And let me pull this up real quick. And so, real quick, the Gumball, for those that don't know, it starts off. It's May 27th to June 3rd, and starts off in Toronto, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Keith was would be part of that, even though he's a U.S. citizen now. He still probably has some roots up there. And then goes to Indy 500 in Nashville, then goes to Atlanta, then Miami, then to Havana, Cuba. So this is truly several country rally race.
Yeah, yeah. And something I want to add at the end is that I would love to take the truck once it's all over with and go and meet with all the guys on all of our standing rigs currently in the U.S. land and have it do a tour to meet with all the guys and all the support that we're getting from doing all this. Yeah, and let them get to take photos with the truck, get to meet all the guys, say, hey, I hope I represented you the best that I could do, and represent our industry. We brought the biggest truck on the rally. And like he had mentioned, once you've gotten in and they love what you've done, you start to get invited back each year.
Okay. So you view this as something not just occurring one year, but hopefully through, be a repeat thing to kind of shed light on the industry and kind of show that we're not these evil villains in these tall ivory towers that they like to think that we are. That we're actually people that enjoy a lot of the same stuff that most humans do.
Right, right. And what perfect way to do it with motorsports and to show the different things that our industry's given back to and what we've done. And you're getting to sit right next to them.
So Keith, also, how do you cross the border with the restrictions?
So it's part of the rally. That's what takes a lot to get everything all involved. Is they've set all of that up in advance. So
that's how. Just use the Gumball rally. So what else do you want to talk? So I guess besides the GoFundMe and all that stuff, obviously this is one of those things I feel that's very new to the industry. It's very first off, people that haven't heard of the Gumball 3000, it's probably very new to them. And something like, I guess, an avenue like this when it comes to kind of raising funds or raising sponsorships and all that stuff is something new as well. What, I guess, can people do to, number one, learn more about it, and number two, to kind of find out because honestly, I think this probably goes to not just our industry, but also a lot of car lovers in our industry, which there's a ton of car lovers and all that stuff. So how do people, I guess, learn more and I guess get involved? I mean, besides look at the GoFundMe page that I've already linked up and all that stuff, how do they, learn more to, I guess, get them comfortable with something like this, sponsorship like this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the best way is actually to go straight to Gumball 3000's website and actually see the photos, see the rally, the events that's going on straight from their website. It is a huge plethora of information to discuss what it does, how it does, all the different things that it does. Like, for instance, Project Reckless was one of their events where they're using automotive and body to kids that have had a rough past, but they're using the restoration of cars to be able to change their lives. The Tony Hawk Foundation, where he's actually building parks, skate parks in low-income community areas, things like that. Then they really discuss that a lot more on their website. They can also reach out to me via phone. They can call me on my phone, 580-656-5486. But to truly get it straight from the source, definitely go to their website, Gumball 3000. Learn about it, understand more about it, because, like I said, this is a very first that we've gotten to get everybody together to talk about it, to really get it out in front of everybody, to show it off, to see how great it can be to really get our industry's name out there.
So so talk to me about the timeline. It is December 20th right now. The Gumball is what, May 28th? May 28th.
Mhm.
I just had it up. So do you have a campaign to kind of get people involved? What's your plan to kind of circle the wagons on this and put the limelight on this in our industry?
Great question. That is a great
You
question.
always have the great questions here.
Look at you. Look at you. So it is, I am hoping to have everything done within, I would love to be able to have the entry fee by the end of January, end of February even would be great to be able to hold our spot.
Okay.
Then that's what Lee mentioned first and foremost is that, yes, you're in, but you cannot hold it until you have that entry fee in there.
Yeah, pay to play. I get it. What is the entry fee that that you're looking for?
So the entry fee for this particular event is $75,000.
All right. But as you said, it's going to take a village or something like this.
It's going to take a village. I mean, even if you had, if you had just individuals just donating $5, $10, $20, it's the neat process of us coming together as an organization and those guys that may not be able to be available to get off the rig or to get off the coal unit or to whatever, and they're donating that $5, $10, what have you, to see that truck and see the oil field. And when they're seeing it on the social medias and they're seeing it happening, they're like, that's what that's you're representing dad. You're representing, their kids are getting to see this and they're getting represented. And then whenever that truck comes by afterwards and gets to come to the rig, I can shake everybody's hand and say thank you for getting this to come together.
So part of represent obviously the oil and gas industry and stuff like that. What is your plan to, I guess, to let's say we donate X amount on stuff. I mean, how is this going to be an oil field truck or represent our industry and all that stuff? What kind of graphics and wraps and all that stuff do you have in mind? Obviously, it's not. Look, what have you been? How about this? What have you been thinking about doing? How about that?
Perfect. So with Gumball, there are restrictions to what we can be able to do on the wraps. What a lot of people do is they completely go crazy on the wraps, but you can't put any kind of logo, so to speak. Like if we were an actual sponsor, like the oil field itself, right, like a Chevron or a BP or something like that, and then we could have our logo on the actual vehicle itself. But what most people do is they'll go, and what I was thinking is wrapping it in like an all black or an all white with gold drilling rigs or chrome drilling rigs, just hundreds of them all over the vehicle. And that's just your set, that's your set body wrap. Once you've body wrapped, then they'll put on their different clothing brands. Hot Wheels is a sponsor, so Hot Wheels will have their logos on there, different things. The only thing from the paperwork that they've sent me is you get 2 10-inch squares of actual sponsorships on either side of the vehicle, that you can be able to put any kind of logo that you wish to put on there.
So pretty much probably a good way to have it as an industry oil field car and all that stuff would probably be just kind of the main the wrap of it, whether it's whether it's a derricks or whether it's whatever that looks like, oil and gas industry powered by natural gas, whatever that looks like. So right. pretty much that might be fun too to maybe the biggest donor as the choice on what wrap looks the best, A, B, or C. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. I think that's a great idea, JP. That was something that, we were thinking about doing is, what those 2 10-inch squares, who are they? Who gets to be in those squares? What do we want to put in those squares? And then, like I said, the body wrap itself. What represents our industry the best? What would be the absolute most awesome wrap out there that would represent our industry? That because yeah, we're gonna have a diesel truck. I mean, got to have a big truck to
Damn right.
represent our industry. So, well, how else can we make it better?
So, what else would you like to chime in about and kind of leave us with before we kind of wrap this up that you got for us?
I'll leave you with this, guys. It's been an honor and a pleasure to advocate for our industry with JP here today, with Fossil Fuel Fridays, with the Talking Energy Show, with Matt Hill, and to everyone that's representing in our industry. Thank you so much for listening in, for chiming in, and for any support that you can have on this. Showing the dream and the passion, and hopefully this is something that everyone sees as an absolute excitement as much as I have. And I just really hope to be that one to be able to get our industry out there and on this stage moving forward.
It sounds to me like you kind of have a two-prong attack moving forward to kind of do this. Number one, it's education. You got to educate people on what the actual Gumball 3000 is, and just kind of the global attention towards it, because it's I don't know who this is. It's a LinkedIn user. If you're looking for a family-owned shop for the wrap, I'd be happy to introduce a great husband and wife team. Let me go over to the comments on this. Maybe I can find out who they are. I don't know why StreamYard does that sometimes.
See, that's awesome. Already, everyone. That's it takes a village, and it takes a team, and it may end up being that there's so many people in our industry that have so many different things on the side that could help in so many ways.
So I guess whoever that LinkedIn user is, I apologize. I can't see, as you can see on the screen right there, it doesn't really have your name. If you want to, shoot Ken a DM, slide into Ken's DMs and let him know who that is. And again, see, that's the help we're looking for. So no, man, the sound, honestly, like I dig this event. I dig the idea. I think I love how this, okay, well, I know that. So it's weird it's doing that.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know if I have to refresh or something like that. So anyway, reach out to Ken, or Ken reach out to Sean after this. But no, I mean, I think thinking of stuff like this outside the box is important. You know, to kind of communicate who we are, what our interests are, and stuff like that. I mean, that's the whole point. You started Outdoor Ventures, was to show off, hey, look, we're oil and gas people, but we also, the one thing that binds us together and brings us together as a community is the outdoors. So, no, I dig it, man. I wish you luck and success in this. And I know it's obviously the next 2 weeks, the next 10 days, there's gonna be a lot of downtime and all stuff, but it might be a good time to, I guess, kind of recenter and kind of refocus on how to kind of get this message out there and beat the streets.
Absolutely.
So I missed you when I was in Oklahoma, brother.
I know,
dude.
I survived.
I love Oklahoma City. It is such that was the first time I've ever been there. It was such a neat town.
It is a great town. I really wish I got to take you to, your petroleum club, and then that way you could have had, petroleum club tour.
So I was staying at the haunted hotel, the Sverkin, whatever it's called, right?
It was right next door.
So I didn't even know that. So I had lunch with a couple people, and I got dropped off, and I'm like, well, I got some time to kill. I'm gonna go check out where the petroleum club's at. And it was right behind me. So I went up there, met, I think her name was Jennifer Dow and all that stuff. We'll be having some events there. But I was impressed with that place.
How'd you like that Continental room? Was that not amazing?
Man, that was nice. Even the little dining rooms that they had up there was nice. And then I mean, shit, every place I went to in Oklahoma City was nice. It was very brick and old school, had a good vibe to it, like really good people, good food. I really liked it. So I'm looking forward to head back up there on the rig in the new year.
Well, perfect. Well, come by anytime. I will, next time you're here, I will be available for sure.
Well, I hope so. So Ken, good luck to you, brother. Merry Christmas. You keep doing what you're doing. You're your Minute with merch, your Fossil Fuel Fridays, your Gumball 3000. You got a full plate. But I definitely appreciate what you're doing. You keep putting that stuff out there, man. I dig it.
Well, thank you, JP. Really appreciate it, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful Merry Christmas.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Again, if anyone wants to learn more about the Gumball 3000, check out the comments. I put the link there. Also, reach out to Ken if you just want to just kind of talk about Gumball 3000, talk about outdoors or whatever else you want to discuss. So, all right, brother. We'll talk to you soon. Be good.
All right. See you guys.